What do you got there, Jack Powell, Mr. Jack?
I have a lighter and a candle to not only commemorate the loss of another person who went home with an idol in their pocket, but also just to commemorate, nice, chill episode of the Stocks. Cheers to that.
We're known for being very, very calm. We're known for our calm demeanor. Mr. Jack Powell, he does not yell. I'm usually known for my, reserved takes, very calm.
You know what I just made?
What?
Do you want to know what I just made? Do you see this?
Yeah. What'd you make?
This is the final three. That's what I made. Welcome everyone to Survivor Stock Watch, episode 9. Play the.
You don't have to do the dramatic stops like that. You don't have to be like play, and then just sit there.
I literally lit a candle for this episode of Stock Watch. I think we're getting pretty dramatic today. I'm Jack. With me is Will. Will, how are you doing?
I'm feeling very weary, very tired. I don't have my usual energy drink, and I have work in 2 hours. So we're doing great. What about you, Mr. Jack Powell?
Doing good. It's the end of the semester's rolling around. Lots of people graduating. I am graduating as well with one of my degrees. So
only one.
Only one. I got another that I'm working on. Hey man, but yeah, it's a nice, reflective, introspective time, and I think everybody's being very introspective, especially the players you have on screen right there. James Clement from Survivor China. That's his HPV photo. Ignore it.
Yep.
Kelly Wentworth from Edge of Extinction. Kelly Kim from Island of the Idols. And Ozzy Lust from Micronesia. What do all these players have in common?
They're all friends with me on Facebook.
Are they actually?
Yeah.
You're lying.
No, I'm not.
They're actually friends with you on Facebook.
Yes.
All right. Well, next episode you got to show the pictures.
Absolutely. I actually once met James Clement at a grocery store, and I was like, "Hey, James, I'm a big fan." I didn't want to bother him though. I'm like, "I don't want to bother you." He was like what you're doing right now, and I got nervous because he's a celebrity, and so I started stuttering, and he kept making fun of me. And as we're checking out, he had 20 Milky Ways, the candy bar, right? 20 of them. And he tried to just walk out with him. And a very kind lady at work, she's like, "You have to pay for that, sir." And he's like, "Do you know who I am? I'm Jeff Probst." And the lady was like, "No, you're not." And
what are you is this a dream that you had?
No. I was trying to talk about the copy pasta that's popular with Carter Williams, but I forgot the second half. I just know that I met him at a grocery store.
What do they all really have in common here?
They're all players who went home with an idol in their pocket.
Some of them too.
I don't want to talk about Kelly Kim. Kelly was robbed. Okay.
Kelly was robbed. Yeah.
James not as much.
Ozzy just got played. Look, tough to get voted out with the idol. Jeff, I'd also like to give a quick mention to Jeff there with his cushion. He's certainly getting spicy this season, most vicious season ever. He's certainly getting vicious, eating popcorn in front of his fellow, the castaways.
That was a cute moment. I have to admit, I like that scene. That was a little fun. It's not very Survivor-like, but, it was fun. It was cute.
It was nice. It was nice to see Jeff stepping back into his humble roots. You think he's going overboard? You think he may be a little too spicy?
Too spicy is not, absolutely not. This is the same guy who would make fun of players during the competitions. Same guy who had a reward challenge where the reward was having one beer. Real thing, by the way. Look it up. Survivor Borneo. R.I.P.
The days were crazy back then. A reminder of the Stock Watch rulebook for everybody new, returning. Just, leave it up there for a little bit. Remind you of everything going on, plus our buddy the Ghost. Probably won't have a lot more Ghosts this season unless someone gets a crazy no confessional episode. But we go to the person who got voted out with an idol. Couple things here. One thing here. Something new. We promised this last episode. It is being implemented. The key takeaway. A little quick summary. Some may be a little humorous. Some may be serious. We're just going to give you a little summary of action. And this key takeaway is if you go on Survivor and don't play the idol when you say you are, either you're Tiffany, because that's exactly what she did this episode and she stayed, or you're insane.
Yeah.
Fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. It's weird because Hunter, he kind of reminds me of Carson in a lot of ways, right? They're both super fans. They're both, crazy, build the backyard challenges, but both missed a very key part of Survivor, right? Carson was the fire making challenge. Hunter, it was the social game, right? And for a while, I felt like his lack of social game actually worked out for Hunter because he's such a big threat physically. You could look at Hunter, even day one, where like Hunter's a guy you have to look out for. And so if he was also amazing socially, he would be like Caleb from last season, right? Just too big of a threat. But the second he lost Tevin, he lost all footing in the game. And we kind of saw where that ended up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it was very readily apparent the first episode when we were shown the Andy Griffith Alliance, a little bit of a throwback there. Yeah, that Hunter needed Tevin, and Tevin, in a way, needed Hunter. Tevin goes home, got a big problem because now Hunter's got no social anchor. And I think he lost that confidence, that control. And once he lost immunity, all hell broke loose for him. Now, it's fair to say that if Tiffany did not say that she was 100% playing her idol this tribal council, it did not matter. It could have still been Tiffany this round.
Yeah.
They still could have voted Tiffany 100%. So for the first half of that tribal part, the tribal talk, he played well. He did what he needed to do, got the target off his back. And then it all crumbled. He started telling everybody he was going to play the idol. He started questioning everything at Tribal Council. No one trusted him at that point. They're like, you know what? This guy's got to go. And the only reason he didn't go home in the first vote is because of a certain man with the first letter of the word queen in his name.
Ben.
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page. Hunter, I just think after the Tevin vote, like he was doing the right things, but he was never able to really push anyone or sway anyone any which way. We saw that last episode too with the Tevin where he tried pushing the vote off Tevin. Did not happen. And then this episode, he tried pushing for Tiffany. Did not happen. And I don't know if it's just the tribe or if it's Hunter himself. I just don't think he really had too good of a cast for Hunter, right? I think if it was placed on another cast, I was more receptive to him kind of being direct. Or if he was also maybe the only physical beast, right? Because, Q looks physical. Hunter was also very physical.
If he replaces Jonathan on Survivor 42, you think he wins?
I don't know about winning, but I think he would be as good of a spot as Jonathan was. Because Hunter kind of had a niche that was lost. It gets lost right when you merge. especially when you have other physical people too, like Charlie and Q. As much as Q sucks at challenges.
Q does suck at challenges, but I agree with you. I think Hunter does well in Jonathan's position, and I think he could actually make fire and could actually make the end of the game, and you have a chance to make the end of the game. I think this scenario where the only other real, true individual immunity threat that's really been apparent so far is Charlie,
Yep.
then you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. And Hunter did exactly that. He stuck out like a sore thumb. And again, he threat managed it well at the beginning of the round. But once Tiffany, he didn't have any counter to Tiffany saying she was going to play the idol. Once Tiffany said, "Oh, I'm just going to play my idol to get rid of it," Hunter had no counter other than, "Please work with me. Please save me." You got to have another counter. Maybe you got to just throw it down on Q, Say you're going to have an idol, Jay. How's it going?
What's up, Jay?
Good to see
My
you.
brother.
A candle for you.
A root beer for you.
A water for you.
A Saving Bruce sticker for you.
Fire for you.
Water. All right, let's get back on track. Let's not get distracted here. I know we're giving Jay everything.
Is that GIF playing? It's not playing. Okay, that's fine. I didn't really care. Yeah, I moved Ben up to 4, but that's Jetters today. Of course, Jay, anytime. Lounging around, target for personality. He got targeted by Hunter as a last ditch just because he didn't work with Ben and he doesn't really talk to Ben. That's not what you do. I mean, going back on Hunter for a split second here, that's not what you do. You throw it on somebody that's not only good with the tribe, but not even considered as an option. It's not going to work unless it was with somebody like Q. Beyond that, though, Will surely thinks he wins at this point. You surely think it's the second coming of Fabio. It's game over. Yeah, there's nothing else. All right, lay it down.
Listen. I did not move Ben down. I don't think this is a great episode for Ben because Ben's edit is just so weird. But I think back to the intro. I think back to the premiere, right? Someone on Reddit actually pointed this out. Jeff Probst said, "One of you will never win," and that's the
We talk about this every week.
But there was a hard pan on our number 1. So what does that mean, right? I still have hope that I'm not saying Ben is likely the winner, all right? I have two people above him, all right? And I'm not moving your number 3 up because I don't think they have that good of an edit. I don't know. I feel like Ben is just in a weird spot. I feel like, as Jay is saying, he could be a losing finalist. I feel like I might just be overhyping the losing finalists because I feel like the third placers are kind of the more personality driven players, and that could be Ben. I feel like Ben kind of is in the same realm as kind of like Jake, kind of like Owen, lovable losing finalist, but yeah, you moved them up considerably, might I add.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I moved him up just because I think he has the highest placement potential out of the non-contenders. Keep in mind, I have 5 non-contenders and 3 contenders, and I have Ben at 4 as the highest non-contender. I think losing finalist is a good potential. I think it could be 4th. I think it could be 5th. I think he will probably make the finale at this point unless anything catastrophic happens.
Yep.
And that's why I have him at number 4 compared to somebody else who I had as the highest non-contender last episode.
Yeah. No, but I still am not losing hope on Ben. I still think that he could maybe clutch it out. I honestly have him. I think honestly number 3 is the cutoff. I also have only 3 contenders, which might be surprising with who I have at number 4, but we'll get to my number 4 later. As of right now, though, Ben is just kind of there. And as Jay's saying too, the boot order has been so unpredictable. This season's edit has just been very weird. weird focusing on like Mariah who just got shafted, weird edit like Jem had so many small winner-esque moments with winning confessionals, the winning pose, and she did not even make the merge. So anything can happen. And I also thought Hunter would make it a lot farther than he did. So who knows?
What
Hi,
we do
Charlie.
know, or what we hope to know, is that Charlie and Kenzie, as Jay has said here, is number 1 and number 2. They're either
Yeah.
or. This is the problem we're facing now. We're in contender limbo, as I like to so call it. Kenzie didn't have a great episode. We'll get to that. Charlie had more of the same. At this rate, it's just stagnating in terms of real potential. I've seen a
Yeah.
decent amount of people say that this could be Kenzie's crowning episode. It can in retrospect. Do I think it is off the first glance? Not really. I think Charlie quickly saw that Kenzie was really trying to drive the vote. That could be an issue for her going down the line. Like we want to say that we know what's going on truthfully with these contenders and exactly where they're going to be, but really we don't. And Jay has another good point. You're on a roll. Getting enough personal content. Exactly. Not getting enough personal content.
All right, my apologies for that. My Wi-Fi just went out for no reason. What's good?
Uh-oh.
So Charlie is kind of weird because he is so unremarkable in my opinion, where everything is just kind of how it should be. And a lot of the winning edits, except for like Erica, but even Erica, it has a little bit of flair or like it has something to it, right? And that was the big driving force of why I had not Marcus. Why do I keep calling him Marcus? Carson so low in 44, right? Where his edit was too good, it was too clean, too cookie cutter for me to really consider him. Charlie has that problem, but I also find two big faults in everyone else's game, you know? It's way too clean. And I love Charlie, but Charlie's not that good of a player to get a very clean edit in this fashion.
Yeah, I don't think that's applicable to the new era. I think Jay's right here. I think he's going to go farther, for sure. I mean, Kelly got 10th. Charlie's already in the final 8. But I think we're kind of at that point where we need something more. We need something new era-esque. I mean, there's still a chance because realistically, I mean, I still have Tiffany at number 3, the last contender, but that's like a 0.01% chance we're talking here. It's Kenzie like 70, Charlie 30 for me.
Yeah. I would go about that too. I mean, instead of Tiffany being my 0.1, I have it as Ben. But even then, I'm really losing a lot of faith on Charlie because again, it's the same song and dance, which is great for longevity, right? But when it comes to winning potential, I'm losing faith.
I am losing faith as well. I'm hopeful that it changes, but so we can get a little bit of jam Carolyn going on because we thought Carolyn had a real shot. Charlie has a shot. We thought Carolyn had a real shot at winning the game. Right up until the episode before the last or the last episode. We want to have that hope for Charlie, but it's basically a contender by default at this point.
Yeah.
In the sense that there are truly no more great options for a contender besides Kenzie, who's number 1, and Charlie, who's just there. It's he's got lucky that everyone else's edit is not great.
Which is so weird. That is where we stand. Because it's not that like Charlie's playing this amazing game. It's just everyone else is significantly worse. What's up, Kenzie?
I think the Malcolm and Denise storyline is Maria blindsiding him at maybe final 5 or 6 and making her a contender option hanging in the finale. Jay, would you argue that that's a
Play the thing. It's a crackpot. Mike is muted while video plays.
Do you like that?
I love that. Thank you, Jay.
Do you like that, Jay? There you go.
Is that your first crackpot on the board for Jay?
No, he definitely got one last episode.
Oh yeah.
Yes, crackpot theory. All right, here we go. Very iffy episode and overexposed, but still number one for both Will and I. Yeah, I mean, she was driving the strategy after last episode, saying she didn't want to drive the strategy. So a little bit of contradiction right there. Driving the strategy, wanting to get rid of Tiff, her number one the whole game, wanting to make a big move on her best ally, failing because Tiff decided to play the idol. There are pros and there are cons. That's typical of a new era winner. So, still number one. But con, yeah, I would say one of. I think they're episode maybe 3 or 5. This
3 and 4, I think, is her worst.
Sucks. There are rules. Thank you, Zans. There are rules. I'm going to flash the rule book one more time. There are rules.
We love rules.
We're rule abiding. Anyhow, yes, cons, overexposed, not getting the real target she wanted out of the game. Charlie's on to her a little bit. Pros. Hunter came up to Kenzie and said that basically she's his number one.
Yep.
Out of nowhere. Where did that come from? Was that just smoke and mirrors? I assume it was. But even then, it got put in the edit. So it clearly matters. And so when you take all of it in, there's pros, there's cons. I think Kenzie's fine. I think she's number one. I think this is maybe the weak. It's not weak. It's not a weak hold on number one. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a weak, number one, like she's number one. And that's I could change that. I still think she's number one. It's just not as concrete as D was last season. It's not really as concrete as Jam. Gabler. Gabler. Like Jam and D. Like, we had them concretely number one. Carolyn number 2 for 44, but we had Jam and D perfectly correct. Meanwhile,
I could absolutely see Kenzie going home at Final Four. I'm still I'm selling that theory less and less. I'm not really buying into it. All
right. Well, let's not crackpot it up just yet. If she does go home at Final Four, does Charlie win? Or are we wrong? Keep in mind,
I think that's how Ben wins, honestly.
Keep in mind, we have never been wrong. Like, we got Jam correct.
Yep.
We got D correct. While we fucked up with Jam, we fucked up with Mariah.
I don't think that was on us.
All right. We still have time.
Look. Jam and Mariah, that was not on us. All right. The editors did that. They see the style.
Editors are liars.
The show. They know what's going on. They wanted to mess us up. Because why did Mariah get a whole scene of her jumping only to get voted out 2 episodes later? It does not make sense. All right. Why would a 6-foot Wookiee, live on Endor with the 2 people? It does not make sense.
That's absolutely right.
Oh, you don't get the reference. Nope.
I don't. It's something from Star Wars. I heard Wookiee in there.
Yeah, South Park.
I didn't watch South Park.
That makes sense.
Call me crazy. Didn't watch South Park. Anyhow, Kenzie is just, we don't know. Dragon, winner, mermaid. At this rate, it's just kind of up in the air. And we're just keeping her number one. But this is honestly one of the weaker contender seasons. And definitely one of the stronger just general character entertainment seasons, much akin to Will's. Is your second favorite season, Gabon?
Second or third, depending. I don't know. I've been watching Philippines, and I really love that season.
It is a good season.
Fantastic season. It depends on my mood. If I want entertainment component, storyline, then I want Philippines. If I just want Survivor, then Cagayan. My top 3 favorite seasons, by the way. Yeah, no. So I'm not again. It's I think back to the last 2 seasons, we were right, right? The stock watch later on became less of a this person could win, but it's like if D didn't win, then I could see Jake winning, right? Or
Yeah,
if a lot of the 44 talks, it was Jam or Carolyn, because Carolyn had a lot of really good episodes where looking back, it was personally driven, right? Makes sense why she lost, but I could see the arguments, right? With Kenzie, it's not that we think Kenzie's the 100% the winner. There's still conversations about Charlie winning, Tiffany winning, or Ben winning. Everyone else, I feel like it's safe to rule out, but it's just way too wonky of an edit for us to fully buy a Kenzie stock.
100%. So we're at a media level. We're sitting on it. It's a quiet episode in the Stockwatch land. Besides Hunter, one of our contenders, going, but it's a quiet day in the Stockwatch land, and that can also go for Liz. Now, you may see there's no picture on Liz. Do you ever see that little icon at the top left of the screen?
The icon at the top left of the screen.
Yeah, you see that? You see that little picture at the top left?
The little logo, yeah.
Yeah. Who is that?
Oh, we're not doing this, all right? I have looked at the logos in past seasons. Remember Survivor 43? Everyone said the guy looked like Gabler. It looked nothing like him. We're not doing this. We're not.
You think it's the logo?
Yeah, the logo. Yeah, no, that's not. That's just people, dog. It's silhouettes, dog.
That is not a logo. That is a person. That person is the mother of big moves herself, Sierra Easton.
What is going on?
Inception.
Actually,
Liz is the new Sierra Easton because all she wants to do is make big moves. She wanted to make a big move on Tevin last episode. She wanted to make a big move on Q this episode.
I didn't see the image. I thought you were talking about the logo.
No. Nope. The image on our slides. Will, the candle for you.
Thank you. Sorry. I thought we're getting into the player looks like the guy in the logo nonsense, which
no, we're not that desperate. We're not that desperate.
We're not. Oh, I'm glad.
We're not that desperate yet.
Liz and Q kind of got a 180 from each other. Because Liz at first had no interest of playing the game. And now Q is giving up. I know we're not on Q yet. But Liz is like weirdly playing the game. And I know a lot of people are very high on her. I personally love Liz. I think she's fantastic and a really good source of unintentional humor. But let's be real, guys. She's not winning.
Yes. And that's the key takeaway. We saw in the, next time on Survivor is always a double-edged sword in terms of what to actually see. But, when we said Drew was freaking out on the episode he went home in last season, he didn't really freak out. Could be a Liz freak out here. Chaos is coming. The low food intake, she's very allergenic. Q not going home. She really wanted Q to go. Liz Nato's on the way. I think we're gonna get a very chaotic, very entertaining, very over the top Liz. I'm excited for it personally. It's a new side of Liz I'd like to see on my screen. We've gotten crazy Q, we've gotten vengeful Venus, all of that stuff. I want to see let it all loose Liz. Let it ride. Liz. Let it ride.
Something I am curious about too, though, is that it's mentioned several times in the episode she hasn't eaten in days. Did we really hear that from Liz though?
No, we've heard it from she said it this episode, I'm pretty sure.
Because I didn't hear it. I just heard from everyone else saying Liz hasn't been eating. Which
it mentioned I think at least twice in the episode. It is going to become a big deal. I think it's going to be a big deal next episode. I think it's going to cause some drama 100%.
Oh yeah, but I was just curious why I didn't really see it. I didn't hear it from Liz. I feel like that if she was like a losing finalist, like some people are saying, I don't know why people are saying this, then I feel like it would be personal enough for her to have that segment of like her struggling, right? Something we've seen time and time again. But no. And because of that, because I feel like the focus was less on Liz, even though it was mentioned a few times at the episode, it was never a moment in the episode. It's something you had to listen for. So I know I moved her up by 2, but like that's still very weak sauce. Only because
And
7
it,
to 8 is lower.
absolutely. This cast is so stuck on making big moves that they're blindsiding their allies left and right, and also
Yep.
Liz and Logo. Yeah. They're really. We're back in like Cambodia, Ko-Rong era,
Oh,
MVGX
geez.
era. Big moves is the name of the game right now. Everybody wants that big thing on their resume, and Liz is the subject of that. That's exactly why Sierra Easton is at the top of your screen right there.
I didn't see that again. Yeah,
Get
no.
played. It was an Easter egg.
An Easter egg.
It
You
was an
put an
Easter egg.
image on the Google Sheets,
A
dog.
Survivor Stockwatch Easter egg. All right, you know what? That's the promise. That's the promise. Next episode, and we'll make it an installation. I'm gonna hide Easter eggs I'm gonna hide an Easter egg in every single stopwatch. Just one. I'm gonna hide it in the slides somewhere. I'm not gonna mention it. I'm just gonna count on you, Will, or
the
any
chat.
of our fellow viewers to see the Easter egg.
Oh yeah, by the way, I know we made the promise last episode about the picture of us two together. I messaged Jack about it. I'm like, "Hey Jack, buddy, you're working on the slides. Make sure you include an image, right?" This is what Jack said. And I quote, "Oh shit, yeah. Enter. Not actually. I don't want to include it. I look like ass." So, that's where we're at.
It was tough. Someone on Twitter said that Carolyn losing to Jam Jam is influencing this cast to play so hard since that's the last season they saw. Did they see it? Did they see? Because I mean, they went to film. They had to have filmed in maybe.
I think
But
maybe actually, I don't know.
maybe I don't know, but that could be a reason. I mean, they are definitely playing a little bit harder, but we still have players like Q going absolutely nuts. Liz might be on her way on that. Venus is like, there's still players who are hamming it up, and we love that. So we should take a break. Will, pick a number 1 through 4.
Let's do number 4.
Number 4.
Yep.
All right.
My name is Jonah Fielko, and I'm the CEO of Bracketology.tv, fantasy sports for reality television. We offer fantasy games for shows like The Bachelor, Survivor, Big Brother, RuPaul's Drag Race, and counting. You start by creating a community. Within your community, you can create a fantasy league for each show that you want to play fantasy games for. Within the league, you can choose up to 3 of our 4 game types, and our most popular is the Advanced League. Choose a team of contestants, and depending on what they do and say during the episode, that's how your team will gain or lose points each week. We also have elimination-style games like our Confidence Pool. This is where you choose how confident you are that each contestant will survive elimination that week. And we've also got March Madness-style brackets. Come back a couple hours after the episode to check your scores and watch you climb the leaderboard. Bracketology is free to play, so grab your friends, your family, your coworkers, and head to bracketology.tv for more info.
There you go.
Yep.
I'm just so done with Maria. You want to know what?
What?
I think this is a record. I think this is a record for me for middle of the roads in a row.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Middle of the road centered edits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 9. That's insane.
Yeah, but
do you realize how crazy that is?
Do you realize how crazy you are sometimes, Jack? To be fair.
Listen.
All right.
Ronan Moore is back, and at this rate, if Maria never gets anything other than a middle of the road, And that image is going to stay right there. It is not moving. But yeah, it's more of the same. You see the little MOR. I made a joke out of that. Did you get rid of it?
What?
I made a joke. Oh man, I made a joke here. I made a joke with the look at the comments of the video.
Yeah, I would not get rid of that.
I made a joke. I guess it's gone. It might be on another slide. I don't know. Anywho, more of the same. She would be like Denise if we're really trying to throw in that Denise and Malcolm comparison here. If there was more positivity, we got a little bit, but not too much, and more complexity. That again, middle of the road.
Yep.
Middle of the road. It is tragic.
Now, how do you think Maria's going to go? Because I think we ruled her out. I don't see her making final tribal council being a losing finalist. For that, do you think she's going to get a big blow up episode where she's going to get a lot of content in like a very episode, like a whole episode dedicated? I cannot speak. Oh my god.
Dedicated to her.
Dedicated to Maria.
I don't think so. I think I don't know. We've had so many opportunities for that already. I feel like we would have gotten that a lot earlier in the season. I feel like we would have gotten that when Jem went home. We could have gotten that last episode, the episode before that. And, you know, again, this is the pertinent question. Why is Charlie getting everything and Maria's getting next to nothing? I don't know. Maybe it's a sign that Maria gets rid of Charlie. That could very easily be the case. But it's just to the point now where regardless, it doesn't really matter in terms of Maria's edit because it is just the same. And that's and that's, you know, I don't like to gripe with Survivor a lot. I praise it more than a lot of other people. And so does Will. So does, both of us do.
Editing of Survivor, that's like the big plus I give it over international seasons because I feel like a lot of the characters maybe not be for everyone, but there's more of a focus on the cast itself. With Australian Survivor, the seasons I've seen, half the cast just gets shafted. And you know, it's kind of like how Survivor 44 is, right? The big problem everyone has with that season is the Tika show. If you like the Tika 3, you'll love the season. And I think Survivor did a fantastic job really editing and fleshing out all the characters last season. I think that should have been the gold standard of that's how you edit a cast, right? Because you can have your main characters, but there was room for everyone to breathe. And that's a problem this season was having with like Tim getting nothing, Maria getting the same edit, Charlie getting the same edit every single time, where it feels too focused on first Banu and now Q. I love Q. I think he's making the season for me, but you know, I want to see more people as well as more Q, you know, and that's kind of the big problem I have with the season so far.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just the balance of editing. I mean, every player is getting their edit, you know, like Liz is getting something introspective, Charlie's getting strategic, Q's getting psychotic, Venus is pretty villainous. You know, we're getting what we expect or what we've seen or what was the next logical step after the previous episode, but it's the same. There's not a lot of difference in it. There's not a lot of different perspectives introduced. And Maria is the poster child of that. Truly the poster child. The same formula. 3 to 4 confessionals, maybe 2 to 3 confessionals, decently strategic, but not actually really being the driver of the decision, always in the know, always trying to calm everybody down. We've gotten that every episode except for one, when I don't think she was even shown. It's unfortunate.
It is. Hi, Q.
And then we go to Q. Did you see what I did with this one?
Yeah.
Doesn't care what happens at this point. Could go home next. Could be a GOAT. could win the game. Yeah, at this rate, I don't really. I'm just throwing it around. I mean, Q could genuinely go home next. We have him at number 8. We think he's gone next. He could be a GOAT. He could be dragged to the end. Nobody would trust him. Nobody wants to work with him. He could win the game. He could very easily be the winner of Survivor 46. If it is, we are living in a crazy world. And good luck to the rest of us.
The world I want to live in.
It's the world I want to live in too. But, just same old story, crazy with a Q. And at this rate, we're at the final 9. We were at the final 9. We're at the final 8. When we get to the end of these seasons, we'll bring it up a little bit here. We start to talk about returning players. And we start to talk about second chances. And we start to talk about all that kind of stuff of retrospective, rankings, all that kind of stuff. Q's got to come back, right?
I'm glad I'm not the only one thinking it. Q,
everyone must.
Yeah, no, it's weird because Q is the only guy who openly asked to get voted out, openly asked to quit the game, to not only stay, but to survive the next vote, right?
It's insane.
The only time I remember someone asking to quit and then staying was Shauna from the Amazon.
Yeah.
Which already crazy throwback, I know. Thank you. But it's I don't know. I don't know if they'll bring back Q because he is asking to quit. I know that's very frowned upon. But if they bring back Colton, or like Jenna Lewis, they can bring
if
back.
They bring back Colton, they can bring back anybody.
That's what if they can bring back Francesca, or Brandon Hams was kind of cool.
They brought back Bruce. Put it as recent as bringing back Bruce,
Bruce was kind of different, I'd say.
Yeah, but you're still bringing back somebody that didn't have a lot of time in the game. Maybe, but Q's proved himself as somebody who can be entertaining for a long time, highly strategic, just fun. And we're not really speaking on Q's chops because he's never going to win in a million years. Not in this season, and I don't even think in any other season of Survivor. He's good to watch, though. He's fun.
Fantastic character. Terrible at the game. One of the worst players I've ever seen. I love him. Hi, Tiffany.
Not the episode we needed. Hanging on by a thread since another contender got out. Hunter got eliminated. Tiffany is hanging on by this. Again, for me, it's 0.01%. For Will, it's out. The only reason she is still a contender is because another one got eliminated. If Venus got eliminated this episode, if Q got eliminated this episode, Tiffany would go bye-bye. She would be off the contenders list. And so it's the more of the same from last episode where we still kind of need more from her. We really need this epiphany kind of episode from her. And we got more from her, and we got a very different direction from what I'd say, previously gotten from Tiffany. But at this rate, I think it's going in the wrong direction. I think it's very negative. And Jay, again, another good push. She is getting personal content. Again, that's another thing. She had that one moment back in episode 2 about the challenge. Hasn't had much since. Going in a negative direction. Q still in the game. That could be a problem. It's going downhill.
Yeah. I left the Tiffany train a long time ago because I feel like if she is the winner, this would not be the edit she's getting. And okay. I feel like it's either a GameBot winner with Charlie, Kenzie just being the obvious winner and we all can go home, or it's a BS winner, like a weird out of left field, like Ben, or Q. Who knows?
Oh my God! If Q won,
if Q wins,
would be in flames.
I'd be the happiest boy, the happiest lad in all the land.
You realize he has 60 confessionals?
Deserved.
if he continues on a tear, right? You got episode 10, 11, 12, and 13. He gets 10 confessionals each episode.
He would be the most edited.
He would definitely be the best edit, or the most volume of an edit in the new era.
Except for Banu.
Yeah, oh my god, except for Banu, that's true.
Yep.
Anyway, let's keep on Tiffany here. Tiffany still has a lot of. She has 45. I'm pretty sure she has 45 confessionals. You know, she's a very prominent character of the season. Really smart play. You know, really smart play, saying she was going to play the idol. Everybody got the target completely off her back. Didn't even play the idol of tribal council. You know, very smart. You know, I think people are going to notice that, and people are going to target her because she blatantly lied to everybody's faces. But hey, good on her. You know, she survived the round, and I don't think anybody's going to blame her for that. I just think people are going to be like, you lied to us. We don't like that.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Tiff should be the player of this episode. I could see an argument. I could certainly see an argument. I could see an argument for Charlie and, you know, Maria and all that. I could very easily see an argument for Tiffany. I think it's probably the strongest argument. You know, that's a smart play. And it keeps her in the game. You know, she's guaranteed Final 7. You know, unless there's some crazy idol nullifier we don't know about. She's guaranteed Final 7. She will play the idol next time. She could get away with it again. She could win immunity. There's chances here.
There is. I think Tiffany is a fantastic character and player. I think, honestly, the opening sequence, I keep going back to it, it could be about Tiffany, you know? I feel like she's not doing anything wrong in the game, but I just don't see the path. I don't see the vision. I don't see the end game. And that's the biggest boon to Tiffany's game, and also the lack of personal content. And I don't know, Jay. She could walk out with an idol in her pocket. That's something I always forget about. Like with Hunter, I'm like, oh, Hunter has the idol, instantly safe. I want to say Tiffany is more level-headed than to waste an idol or to not use it. But at the same time, too, I could see a play where she's trying to bluff with it and, you know, saves it for a rainy day, with a rainy day never coming, you know?
And with Hunter gone, I can see, definitely see her being able to win a few challenges. She's good at challenges, you know? I mean, she was on Yanu, not the best of challenges overall, but she has done relatively decent in some of these immunity challenges. I wouldn't be surprised if she won an immunity challenge. But Tiffany, again, it's the same old. I really think if Tiffany's going to be the winner, we're going to have the most stellar next episode in Survivor history. It's going to be CP positive 5. It's going to be insanely good. If it's that, be careful.
Yeah, but I feel like we always say, oh, next episode better be good. I feel like at a certain point, it just might be too late. And that's
all right, well, we'll make it a double-edged sword. I like to be optimistic on Survivor Stockwatch here.
I don't. I'm a cynical a-hole.
He is. If Tiffany gets the golden episode next episode, I'm keeping her and I'm moving her above Charlie. If she has anything but the perfect episode, she's out.
Yep.
There you go.
That's good.
We go to Venus.
I forgot she was
last player on the list. Me, when the game says press any button and I press the power button, you know, Agent of Chaos. We love to see it. I think it's so great. Everybody wants it. You know, we wanted somebody chaotic. Again, don't go bully people on social media. Venus just got her Twitter or just reinstated her Twitter. Just don't. Be thankful that we're getting some entertaining content in a different way. Problem with her. Very clearly believes she is running the show now. I think the elimination of Tevin definitely boosted her ego a little bit. And, you know, getting rid of Hunter as well is definitely going to make her feel pretty good about her game. I think that people were okay with her being just kind of antisocial, not antisocial, but rather playing a poor social game. I think people were okay with that. It's when Venus starts really assuming control and starts believing that she's in control that it could bite her. We got a lot of confessionals from her this episode saying, I love this. This is chaos. I'm steering the ship here. Like, I'm the chaos agent. Jay still thinks that Venus is a 0 vote finalist. I could see it, but I also think there's a possibility for Venus to go.
Yeah, and that's why we have her at 7 and not number 5, number 4. I think next episode will kind of be the make or break of whether or not Venus is a losing finalist. If she gets the same edit, then I'll move her up, right? I'll move her up to number 4. Like I did before, where I had her like number 6 last episode. I know I moved her down. That's just because Venus, her edit is just so weird. And she's somehow terrible at the game, but also not the worst player still in the game, which is hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, she's not the best player in the world. She's not the worst. I mean, making Final 8 on its own is a decent achievement, something you should be proud of. You make it past a majority of the people, half the people in the game at the least. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah. I mean, as entertaining as it is, and as cool as making Final 8, Venus is her social game. I don't know if you know this. It's not that good. But I also really like Venus and her whole part in the narrative.
A candle.
A candle for Venus, dog.
A candle for
Venus.
Get
Venus on Stockwatch.
Let's get Venus Vafa on Stockwatch.
This is an open letter to Venus.
Open invitation. But yes, we shall see what happens with Venus moving forward. We think it's possible she's going to be eliminated next episode, but we don't know. Tier list, going to hit you quick here. We got Kenzie and Tiffany with bad episodes. Kenzie a little overexposed, some pros, but cons are a little glaring. Tiffany with a bad episode, very negative. Charlie with a stay, same old. Everybody else with slash, no chance, no buy. Thoughts?
This, if I was in charge of making it, Ben would have a stay. But yeah, that's it. I kind of agree. There wasn't really a good point for anyone this episode, except for like maybe Charlie. But even then, Charlie's been getting the Charlie edit, which is actually kind of a boon for Charlie, I'd say. So I can concur, counselor, with everything.
You concur. You know how I said I made that joke that I had.
Yeah, you were wondering where it was. I was. Yeah, you were looking. I was looking for it, and I messaged in the private chat. I'm like, "Hey, it's on the Edgic slide." And Jack's like, "I know." No, you did not. You did not know that. Don't lie to me.
Oh, I knew. Played you like a fiddle, as I usually do. Highest visibility, Kenzie Q, Tiff Hunter with a 4, lowest Ben, Liz Maria with a 2. Best rating, Liz had a middle of the road positive. I was over the top for a while. I changed it to middle of the road because I think that was a little bit better, but I don't think it was as good as Charlie and Kenzie's CP. Worst, duh. Key takeaways, Tiffany only remains because another contender is gone. Joke. More of the same for Maria and Charlie as well. Compare Jam Jam and Kenzie's strip for me. I keep comparing them every episode. I had to put it up there. It looks relatively similar. Like, there are similar notes to each of their edits.
Yeah. Let's see. CP 4, CP Mix 5, middle of the road -4, CPN 4 or CPN 5. I feel like Jam Jam was more over the top.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. But at the same time, you're like, it's the balance, is what I'm trying to say. There's a CP positive in there. There's a CP negative. There's a CP medium. They got really similar strokes in their edit. not everybody has that. Q doesn't have an over-the-top positive.
But let's pull up Fabio's edge strip. Let's compare it to Ben.
It's all toneless. I'm going to tell you right now.
Probably.
I'm looking it up.
Looking it up? All right, thank you. I bet
I'm
you
going to read it off to you.
OTP5.
Oh, here we go. Over the top, middle of the road, CP, under the radar, over the top, middle of the road, CP, middle of the road, under the radar, middle of the road, over the top positive, CP positive. The last two were positive.
Wait, what does Ben have? Over the top positive, CPP4, under the radar, middle of the road.
Get out of here. He's 4 positives and a mixed. You're done. I know he's been unpredictable, but who do you guys think is going next week?
Dangerous question.
Dangerous. I think the top 3 that are in the most jeopardy, Q, obviously. I think Tiffany as well is in a lot of jeopardy. And I'm going to venture to say Venus. I'm going to say Q, Tiff, and Venus. What are your 3? Are they the same? They different?
Q, Tiff, and Liz, I'd say.
You think Liz could go home next episode?
I think so. I think with her, it could be apparent that she's trying to actually play the game now. And I could see that being a threat. I could see people being like, hey, why is Liz suddenly playing the game? What's going on? I could see like Ben going. I could see anyone going, honestly. This edit has been way too weird for me to I want to say Q, it's obvious, but then it's like we thought Bruce was getting voted out next episode, every single episode in Survivor 45. So what do we know?
What do we know? It's been an interesting episode. It's been an unpredictable season, and it is going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward and if we're going to get any more real clarity on the contenders. If it's going to be, instead of 70-30, Kenzie Charlie, maybe it becomes 60-40. Maybe it becomes 80-20. Maybe it becomes 100-0 and we rule out Charlie altogether because it's so clear it's Kenzie. But with that, Will.
Jack.
This has been the Stocks.
This has been the Stocks.
All right, calm down.
Oh God, we're role reversal.
We're switching. This has been the Stocks.
Calm down.
You have anything else to say?
Oh, that's a good question. Do I or do I not? That is the ultimate question.
You have stickers, don't you?
We do. Shout out to Saving Bruce. We got new stickers. Shout out to Liz Wilcox for owning Saving Bruce. Buy your Saving Bruce stock. World Tour 2026 coming out. Jack, what about you? How's your band doing?
My band's going great. My band, the Survivor Now podcast, we actually just dropped some merch. So, go ahead and grab some merch from our band. We'd really appreciate it. But for real, that is going to do it for us at Survivor Stock Watch episode 9. Play
the okay. I thought we were gonna finish the show.
Idol. Thank you all for watching. We really appreciate your time as always, and we will see you in the next episode.